Hello. Call to order at 6 p.m. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded at the direction of the board. The recording may capture both the images and voices of those attending the meeting. A link to the live Spanish interpretation of the Zoom meeting will be posted on both Facebook and our district website for anyone who would like to listen.
Se publicará un enlace en Facebook y en el sitio web del distrito para acceder a la interpretación en vivo en español de la reunión por Zoom para quienes desean escucharla.
Thank you, Cynthia. 4.2, report of actions taken in closed session. There were none. Attendance roll call. Student Representative Enriquez.
On our way.
Excellent. President Reed here. Clerk Rios.
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Here.
Trustee Lopez Jones.
Here.
Trustee Rutherford Allen.
Here.
Okay, 4.4, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Welcome. Okay, 4.5, district mission statement. At Calistoga, we empower students to graduate with respect, empathy, integrity, and the skills needed for success in life and work. We provide a supportive, inclusive environment where students gain essential academic knowledge, critical thinking abilities, and real-world skills. Our goal is to ensure all students feel a sense of belonging, are prepared for future opportunities, and graduate with pride, resilience, and a passion for lifelong learning. 5, public comment on open session items. 5.1, public business from the floor on non-agenda items. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the board on any item regarding board business that is not on the agenda. Without taking action or entering into a dialogue with the public, board members may briefly respond to statements made or ask clarifying questions about topics posed by the public. Your matter may be referred to administration. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Do we have any comments?
We do. We have Carla Serber who wants to speak about flags.
We've got the same microphone deal you do, right?
Yes.
Okay, and Monique is joining me. So yeah, I'm here to talk about flags again. This time the circumstances are different, but the reasons remain the same. As a district, we are committed to creating safe and inclusive environments for students, families, and staff. This year, I've noticed that several cities, police departments, school districts, other public entities, and even our own Napa County Office of Education have taken the opportunity to show their commitment to inclusivity by raising the pride flag this month. It's more important than ever to make our commitment to creating safe spaces as visible as possible. We've brought a draft resolution that I'll get to Cynthia. And we've also brought, and we're asking the board to take the necessary steps to make flying the pride flag a new tradition for our district. And we have in fact brought you a flag for that. Which moment you have this flag from you?
All right, so let me break it down to you right here. The Progress Pride Flag is an updated version of the traditional pride flag that includes additional colors to highlight communities that have been historically faced with discrimination within and beyond the LGBTQ+ community. The arrow-shaped design points forward, symbolizing continued progress. Ta-da! We recognize that this item is not on tonight's agenda and cannot be acted upon this evening. However, since Pride Month is already underway, we respectfully ask that the board to consider scheduling a special meeting or otherwise agendizing this matter as soon as possible. Thank you for considering our request. And we look forward to seeing the flag on display.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy Flamson, flag non-governmental.
Mr. President and members of the board, my name is Kathy Flamson and I live at 818 Champaign East, Calistoga. And I too am really encouraging you to display the flag that represents Pride movement one of the other things that I think is important to know is that at one point in my career, I got to do the policy and procedure for the flag, non-governmental flag here in Calistoga when I was city clerk. And there are some issues that you have. I don't know if it's possible to raise a non-governmental flag on your governmental flagpole. So that might be something that you need to look into, but I would suggest that you look into the resolution 2014-043, which is Calistoga City's flag policy. And it kind of helps you decide, you know, what you want to do for the school. I think having a non-governmental or ceremonial flagpole would do a lot to include a lot of other groups besides the LGBTQ plus community. You can do, you can have your, when you have, the weekly, the Spirit Week, yeah, and you have other opportunities like we raise the flag for Spanish or for Mexican Independence Week or month rather. So there are a lot of other opportunities that you could bring into your school that would be inclusive to a lot of other communities that we have here represented in Calistoga and the high school. So that was my mainly what I wanted to say is that if you can do it, please do it. We want to make sure that everyone feels heard and seen and relevant. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Lisa Gift also speaking on the pride flag.
Hi, thank you, members of the board for, having me here today and this opportunity to speak, along with other members of the community. I'm here to encourage the school board to consider flying the pride flag this month and possibly in the future installing a ceremonial flagpole for non-governmental flags, similar to the one outlined that we use at the city. During Pride Month, many people fly the pride flag as a reminder that everyone deserves to feel welcome, valued, and safe in our community. Our differences are what make us stronger when everyone feels free to live authentically and experience a true sense of belonging. I hope the board will consider holding a special meeting and consider this act of inclusivity for your students here at the school, and I wish everyone a happy Pride Month. Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to item 6, recognitions. Recognition, we've got one student representative. The Board of Trustees recognizes students, employees, or members of the community who have received recognition for academic or athletic achievement or who have made significant contributions of any kind to the district. The following individual will be recognized. Our 2025-26 student representative, Itzia Enriquez, who will be recognized for doing an outstanding job in the role as the student representative to the Board of Trustees.
Since it's clear she is somewhat injured, I will walk over and present her. We're very proud of Itzia. Over the past, every year we have a student representative. Itzia is the first of our student representatives to have represented Calistoga at the Senate and to speak in front of our Senate for rules around making a better education for students with IEPs. So this is just one example of the quality leadership that she has provided in terms of representing Calistoga Junior Senior High School. So thank you, and we are so proud of you. I would like you to share with the group what your plans are for next year, and where you plan on going and doing.
I decided to commit to San Jose State University with a biology major, hoping I could get my PhD eventually to become a pediatrician. My backup plan is politics, of course, as you can see, I'm very interested in all of this. So definitely like giving back to my community and representing it is a big part of it. I will continue to carry on this experience along the way.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for all that you brought to us this year. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Okay, item 7, presentations, 7.1, outdoor education update.
So I am really excited to have here tonight. We have 3 of our grade levels represented, which is who takes our kids to outdoor ed. And so you'll be hearing from our 5th grade representative, Mr. Leonard, to talk about Marin Headlands, our 6th grade team, Mr. Mark Marita and Autumn Grove, to talk about Yosemite. And our junior high science teacher, Mr. Jeremy Grove, to talk about C Lab. One of the things that I want to comment about before they come up is just how fortunate we are in Calistoga to provide these opportunities to our students. Unfortunately, there are other districts that are making cuts, and these are the things that they're cutting. And so I'm really fortunate that we are able to continue to provide these opportunities for our students. C Lab is new, relatively, within the last couple of years. But I believe there are people who are sitting on the board who have been able to participate in 2 of the other outdoor ed experiences. So this is an extremely long tradition.
Not that.
So it would be nice if anybody knows the history of when it actually started, but if not, I'll do a little bit of research. So take it away, Mr. Leonard.
Sure. In its short history, Marin Headlands. I'm here to represent 5th grade, and I want to say thank you for supporting this really amazing endeavor. I talked to my kids today and asked them to just share, and feel free to run the slideshow while I'm talking.
Okay.
You can appreciate what's there, maybe just turn the volume down a little bit, and I'll try to speak loudly. So my students shared with me, I asked them, why is this opportunity important for 5th graders? And they specifically said that it helps you learn about being away from your parents and building your own independence while being in a safe place overseen by trusted adults. I might have elaborated a little bit on what they said, but when I asked for clarification using my own words, they agreed. Students said this is something to look forward to at the end of the year, and that it made learning exciting. Not only does it do that, as you can see, it's super fun. This is an experience where they are rolling down a field of ice plant. And part of that lesson is understanding what an invasive species is. Ice plants absorb a lot of water in the soil and keep other native plants from thriving. They said that it's enjoyable, cool, fun, and exciting, and you feel like you're more independent. I love how it complements, hey, look at that. I love how it complements our grade level curriculum. So some of the things that I brought up, I said, what were the things that you learned about? And they said American history. So, it's held in an old military base. So we learned a little bit about World War II when we're there and the protection of our country. They see and interact with animals that are not part of their everyday experience. Some of the things that were listed included snakes, seals, deer, dolphins. I didn't see any dolphins, possibly in the workup, possibly. But they get to hold hermit crabs and they get to touch sea urchins. We saw sea lions, ground squirrels, and some students even saw whale bones. And then they also, some of the education is learning how to identify certain native plants. We get a lot of exercise throughout this time. We get very little sleep. The food is amazing. They wanted to make sure that I talked about how good the food is. It reinforced things in this wet lab that we go to. You'll see kids holding things and staring into this mirror pond of different creatures. And they talk about animal adaptations, both physical and behavioral. So the naturalists that are there are really incredible, and you're in these groups of about 10 to 12 kids. It's a phenomenal experience, and I'm just grateful that we want to continue to carry this on. So let's pass it on. This is great. Okay.
Sixth grade is going to go a different route in terms of explaining our experience at Yosemite. We're gonna actually have the kids talk to you in front of them. But you did the math, I believe, and it's 40 years that Calistoga has been committed to presenting the 6th grade students every year. And so for that, we're incredibly grateful, and the students wanted to share their thanks as well. Say this. Why?
Hi, what's your name?
Kendra,
Hi, Kendra.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you did today in Yosemite?
I went to Yosemite Falls and you could see the waterfall and you could feel the mist go on your face. It was really refreshing.
Did you have a great time?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Okay, any other kind of things that happened today that were really
We
memorable?
saw Capstone,
Okay,
we saw El Capitan. We saw a bunch of animals too.
amazing. What kind of animals did you see?
We found this big lizard, it had like a red head though.
Whoa, incredible. Okay, is there anything you wanna say? Anything else you wanna say?
I want to say thank you to Calistoga for giving us this amazing opportunity.
Thank you. Perfect. Thanks, Kendra.
Yeah.
Bye.
Is that real?
This is real false.
But the rainbow was real?
Yes.
We're going on this field trip, which was cool, basically.
Yeah,
Like, not many schools do this, but we're kind of lucky for doing this.
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what did you do today? Like, while you're on the trip? Yeah.
It's fun, it's fun. And me, I want to go shower. And then we're gonna go get rice now, but like the dining hall, it's super cool, like it's all neat. And the food is good, it's not terrible.
Okay.
And then, after breakfast. You gotta get like a little free time, and after. You're gonna get your own, instructors, so that you could go hiking.
Yeah.
And today we went to Yosemite Falls.
And how was it?
It was crazy, all the mist was spraying in our face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, how are you feeling about the rest of the week? I mean, we're early. It's only Tuesday.
It's barely Tuesday and I'm already done. It's like me and Heather, it's okay, but you tell me not to go.
It's like way more. Okay, cool. Is there anything you wanna say, like, as a closing?
And well, I'm gonna say. Well, keep. Try to live your life by here because this is only once in a lifetime, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Anything you wanna say to, like, anybody you wanna thank your parents?
everything, Calistoga
Yeah,
and our teachers,
yeah.
because like, without Calistoga, we wouldn't be here anymore.
Awesome.
And it's because of that.
All right, Hector, perfect interview. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you to Calistoga,
Yeah.
the school, the chaperone, the teachers, my parents, and myself. Bringing me here.
Yeah, you should be proud of yourself.
So I have been, Dr. said, but I believe you're the third superintendent I begged to go on the next trip in the junior high, because I felt like upon arriving here, I felt like it was a need, because the kids, luckily I've gotten a chaperone, all three, I got a chaperone, Brandon Headlands, I got a chaperone Yosemite, and, I've been rocking with the Sea Lab for the last 2 years, and, so I felt like there's been a need for a while for a field trip, and I think you're the third superintendent that I've asked for permission to do this, and so I just wanted to say thank you very much for, your commitment as well, and the whole school board, because, last year, I think I got CEF, I begged them and CEF paid for it, but you all realized the need this year as well, and so, and I really appreciate that you guys took on, this cost, because I know that's a big conversation lately, and I know it's not cheap either, because I do all the paperwork, so, so thank you. So this is our second year that we've gone to, Sea Lab, and again, I don't want to ruin the 8th grade speeches, because we heard a preview of the 8th grade speeches today, and they, every single speech that we heard today, which is about 20, who were trying out to speak at the promotion ceremony, every single speech, gave a big shout out to Sea Lab and most of the speeches, C-Lab was like half of what the kids were talking about during their speeches, so I don't wanna ruin a whole bunch of what they're saying, but the need is there and the kids absolutely love it. So, can we just scroll through it, or is it stuck right there? So C-Lab is great. We get on the bus. The kids were even discussing this morning or this afternoon about how much they love the bus rides there. So we take the bus there, we get there, we're there, they immediately start bonding because they take their phones and they're awkwardly like resistant at first, but when I take their phones on I think the quote from this one's not giving her speech today, but she said like halfway there, we realized like, oh, we're not bored without our phones. And they started talking, they started having fun. So they really, really love this 2-day, 3-day excursion, 2-night excursion where they get to be with their friends and not have a phone. So we usually get down there, we head down to the beach, as you can see. There's these are the dorms up here. So we play around, the dorms are on the right, there's a big grass field on the beach that you just saw down there, and we run around just enjoying each other without phones, without any interruptions. The kids love the food as well, like at Yosemite, nobody complains about the food, and they're all very responsible. They each have their own little thing to do to carry the food or carry the dishes or whatever, and there's so much group bonding because we're just there together. They're sleeping in the same dorms together, we're waking up in the mornings together. We do a whole lot of bonding activities like this where they just get to talk to each other and learn each other. And I think one of the one of the quotes again in the speech today was that the students don't feel like they get to do this at the junior high, like they felt like the last time they did this was in elementary school, to just have a big cohesive time to get together to be with their whole class. And so this was really profound for one particular student in her speech she was giving to that. We get to be together, and the kayaking was mentioned like 100 times, like everybody they're like, we gotta learn how to kayak, and it's so beautiful because there's a big old, it's not, and it's nowhere near the bay, it's like there's a sub bay to the bay, and then we're on the river and the estuary going into it, so it's very, very calm waters, and we see so much sea life. It's a sea life sanctuary. We do lessons, the kids get to learn about marine biology and marine conservation, and not to mention every night, this is the view that we get to see. So we're just down there on the beach. Santa Cruz, like if you're looking out there at the ocean, Santa Cruz is like way out there to the right. The open ocean is straight ahead, Monterey is down to the left. The kids mentioned just getting to be silly and have fun at the campfire. So, and they were super excited to leave. So one student buried himself. He said, I'm not leaving. They're like, well, it's not that hard to reach out. But anyways, it's an amazing opportunity. The kids love it. It's again just a 3-day excursion where the kids get to basically bond and be together and wake up and eat food and learn marine biology and conservation together, and they just have a great time. So thank you again, board, for supporting this. It's a great adventure. The kids love it.
Thank you, all of you, for those great reports. Thanks for the kids who participated on video. Any questions?
As a participant in the outdoor education program myself, and now having my 5th grader just come back from Marin Headlands, it kind of reinforces the importance for this, because learning doesn't only happen inside a classroom. And so I think our outdoor education programs at all grade levels are incredibly important, and we're very lucky and honored to be able to have our kids participate in these programs. So thank you for all the work that goes into it, because I know that there is no sleep that goes along with it, that I heard specifically from the boys' dorm on the Marin Headlands trip. But thank you for all of the work and for going above and beyond, and the kids are eternally grateful even if they don't act like it.
Thank you.
7.2, 2025-2026 LCAP survey results.
So as you can see on the screen, we're sharing what our we call the one sheeter for LCAP survey results are. We had a little bit of a glitches this year in regards to the input from the number of people that participated, because there were people who somehow went on different computers, somehow had a glitch when they went on and were able to fill it out multiple times. So that's why some of the numbers are skewed. With that said, we still had really great comments related to our 4 LCAP goals and what's going well and what we need to possibly improve. And so there are separate ones for the school sites, which they went over at their individual school sites. I'm sharing the district since the LCAP is meant for district work. So 83% of our stakeholders said that we're making progress toward goal 1, our academic goal. 82% said we're making progress towards goal 2, which is around our school environment, safety and school environment. And 76% said we're making progress towards goal 3, which is around parent engagement and communication. So of all the goals, that's one that we've had numerous conversations about trying to improve. How do we actually redefine what partnership is with our families? And so then what were some of the top rated thoughts that are going to help us move forward? And when I go over the public hearing portion, I'll talk about some action steps that are changing based on some of the feedback as well as our metric results. So for goal 1, we're excited that a majority of our students feel supported by our staff and teachers in Calistoga related to helping them be successful in their classes. We do think that we need to get a clearer focus on our around professional development on key initiatives, communicate cohesion and consistency. We want to continue refining a clear district-wide teaching framework with support of professional learning teams and communities. So the work that we're doing around professional learning communities. And then we still want to expand our advanced coursework and enrichment opportunities for our students. So students that are above grade level, we want to be able to provide deeper enrichment opportunities and advanced coursework for them, and then enrichment opportunities for our students, which we've been able to add over the last couple of years, and we want to continue that as we move forward. In terms of school environment, we want to ensure that student bio needs are met under safe supervision. So that specifically is related to our elementary school in terms of getting a water fountain out on the play yard. So we're going to be doing that this summer. We do want to strengthen our bullying prevention and having conversations with our students about what is the right way to be. And when something goes wrong, how do you actually interact and stand up for your students? But how do you as an individual know not to bully as well? We want calibration and communication of discipline and behavior policies to ensure consistent approach for all within all of the adults on campus. So we know what the school rules are, we're enforcing them, we're supporting them, we're communicating them. And then we want to continue and broaden our SEL and wellness programs at both of our sites. One thing that we continue to hear over and over again is how phenomenal our wellness center is at the elementary school. So how do we continue to deepen that work and then extend it over to the junior, senior high school? And then goal 3 around parent engagement is we want to streamline and summarize parent communication. We've gotten better this year, but there's still more work to do. We want to communicate with families in the way that they receive it, whether it's videos, voice memos, infographics, graphics. We've gotten better again this year in terms of multiple modes of information. And we want to continue to make sure that we do that on every message that we go out. We want to expand our partnership opportunities, learning more about when and where families would be more likely to engage. So finding out what day of the week works best, what time of the day works best. How can we meet them where they are so that we can ensure that our partnership is actually deepening. We want to leverage existing events to include more engaging content, resources, and student-centered participation. So more students up on stage showing what they're learning and communicating for our families. And then foster authentic two-way dialogue with families, smaller feedback circles so families can share input in real time. So these are just some of the key attributes, and we'll talk more about in the LCAP how some of that is going to change. And then again, I'm going to present the LCAP for our public hearing shortly, and then we'll do adoption at the June 22nd.
Thank you. And that brings us to item 8, public hearing, 8.1, public hearing protocol. As an elected governing body of the Calistoga Joint Unified School District, the Board of Trustees conducts public hearings for the purpose of maintaining open communication with parents, students, and residents of the Calistoga community and school district. Through the public hearing process, trustees seek ideas and viewpoints regarding the efficiency and quality of district-sponsored programs or any other area of the operation of the district and its schools. The trustees believe that open communication is a key element in the ongoing process of district, school, and program improvement. And 8.2 is the 2026-27 Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP.
So first we need to open the public hearing.
Yes, so, okay, we'll open the public hearing at
6:20.
Thank you, Clark.
You're 6:29, yes.
6:29.
So for a couple things, one is when we give this presentation, it's an annual update as well as next steps for the 24-27 as we go into the 26-27 school year. So as a reminder, we have 4 goals. Number 1 is around academic achievement, academic excellence. Number 2 is around a safe, healthy, and positive school environment. Number 3 is about parent engagement and enhancing communication. And then number 4 is specifically around Palisades, increasing school connectedness, and improving attendance at Palisades. So goal 1 has the most metrics because it's academic oriented. I'm not gonna go over every single metric on here. What I am gonna share is that we met our college and career preparedness, even though we still have 1 more year to go. We've met our high school graduation rate, even though we still have 1 more year to go. And we've met our A through G completion rate. In progress are our AP exams. We've made improvement, but we have not quite met our goal. And then we need improvement around CTE pathways and EAP. In relationship to our English learner progress, we met our EL progress indicator and our long-term English learner rate. Our goal for the 3-year, even though there's still 1 more year. But we do need improvement around our EL reclassification rate. That number kind of goes back and forth, and we still want to get it higher to reclassify as many students as possible. And then local assessments, which is specifically our math. We need improvement in all 3 areas around English language arts, math, and science. But our math and science did go up last year and then went down this year. And so there's a fluctuation. So we need to kind of focus our energy and figure out what that is. Is it a cohort of students? What are some things that we can do to help improve our scores? And then in regards to state assessments, we're in progress on math. We've made some growth in some of our subgroups. We need improvement on English language arts. And then science, the state decided to change how we're scored. So we're back at a benchmark. So it was scored one way. They've changed how we're actually looked at. So we now have a benchmark this year. So we'll know more next year. In regards to goal number 2, we met our goal related to our facilities. We are at good or exceptional for all of our facilities. We met our goal for expulsion rate, meaning we had 0, and we met our goal for middle school dropout rate because we had 0. We're in progress in relationship to the California Healthy Kids Survey. There were 2 components. We improved on one. We improved on both, but we met our goal on one of the 2, and we didn't quite get there on the other. Chronic absenteeism improved, but it didn't quite get to where we want it to be, so we're in progress. And then our suspension rate also improved, but we weren't quite there. And then we need improvement on our high school dropout rate, social emotional skills, and our attendance rate. In relationship to goal number 3, we met our goal for parent participation events and the number of parents that are participating in our IEPs, which is at 100%, which is great. We did go down in PK participation and on our adult ed classes this year. And so we're trying to figure out why we had that drop. I have some ideas, but we're not quite positive. So we want to figure out how we can bounce back because we were considerably higher over the past several years. And then goal number 4, we met around our SEL skills and our wayfinder work with our students. We're still in progress on our attendance. We did improve. The students' attendance records went up, but it didn't quite meet the goal that we had set for ourselves. So this is just kind of overall look. So of our metrics, we met 12 of them, 7 are in progress and 14 are not met. But again, we're not at the end of the 3 years. So this gives us an opportunity to still focus on those ones that we're not meeting. How do we get closer to meeting? And then what were some of the modifications? So the actual modifications under actions for goal number 1, we added our new Spanish dual language immersion program is going to start next year in kindergarten and 1st grade. We added our VAPA instruction at the elementary school. We called out the use of the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant funds to specifically fund one of our reading specialists at the elementary school. For goal number 2, we added our wellness center at CES. We had it, but it wasn't called out in our LCAP, and so now it is. And there were no specific actions that were changed with goal 3 and goal 4. But as I talked about last month and again tonight, we're looking at ways for us to deepen our work with our parent partnerships and figuring out how we can find out what they can provide and what they need from us so that we can show that we truly do have a partnership with our parents. And that's what I have.
Thank you. Any comments from staff or board? Any comments from the public?
I've got none.
So then we will close the public hearing at 6:34. Thank you. Okay, 8.3, the 26-27 district budget. And should I read this part while Marie's getting this?
Sure.
Okay. California Education Code, section 1620 provides that prior to adoption of the district budget, the Calistoga Joint Unified School District Board of Trustees shall hold a public hearing. At the hearing, any taxpayer may appear and speak on the proposed budget or any item therein. Law also requires that the public hearing for the district budget be held during the same meeting as the public hearing for the local control and accountability plan. The board is asked to conduct a public hearing and then review the draft 26-27 CJUSD original budget, which will be brought back for adoption during the meeting of the Board of Trustees on June 22nd, 2026. The draft 2026-27 CJUSD original budget signifies a positive certification of its financial condition based on the governor's proposed state budget for 2026-27. The positive certification indicates that, based upon current projections, the district will meet its financial obligations for the current fiscal year and subsequent 2 fiscal years. Copies of the draft budget are available at the district office, and we will open the public hearing at 6:35.
Feel like we were just here a couple months ago doing the 25-26 budget, so this year has gone by very fast. But this is our 26-27 budget for adoption. So before I get started, I just want to mention that this was all done in Notebook LM. Notebook LM seems to be progressing and getting much better and being able to load all of the documents that I send to the state for our budget adoption. I load those documents into Notebook LM, and it's learning how to create presentations. So I'm super excited about being able to even progress even further and get things even better in the next few presentations. But looking at our inflow, our revenue for this next year, we're looking at about 27.84 million. Outflow is 28.46 million. And that means we will be so far scheduled to deficit spend. We will have an ending fund balance of about 9.42 million, a reduction from what we are looking at for this year as an ending fund balance. If we start with 27.8 million in revenue for the 25-26 year, and we go across the way, LCFF is going to increase by 821,000. That's driven by the projected 3.5 increase in local property taxes. We don't know that that's going to be for sure yet, but that is what we are projecting in the budget so far. Federal revenue is declining by about 18,000. We're losing some revenue in our title programs, Title I mostly. State revenue is declining by $363,000 and local revenue is declining by $401,000. Some of those are one-time funds. The local revenue has a lot to do with moving grant money over to NBEF. And so that money is outgoing for next year. All in all, again, 27.8 million in 25-26 to 27.84 million in 26-27 for income changes. The outflow, our expenditures. So you can see the left side of the screen is our human capital. Those are all our salaries and benefits projections. And so we have lots of pluses on that side with certificated salaries going up almost 380,000. Classified salaries 103, benefits 670. Benefits do include payroll benefits, meaning Medicare, Social Security, workers' comp, but also health and welfare, STRS and PERS obligations. And then scaling back on the operational and one-time capital side. So services are declining by 626,000. A lot of those might be one-time services. Supplies down 127,000. And then transfers out. We had 2 big transfers this year, both dealing with capital outlay. One was 1.265 million for our Money Lane project. And then we have another transfer scheduled. I haven't actually moved the cash yet, but a little over 800,000 for all the furniture and equipment for all of our construction projects. All of these expenditures do reflect where we have settled with our labor agreements, and they also do reflect what our last proposals were for in our labor agreements as well. This slide looks at our property tax outlook for 24-25, 25-26, and then the outgoing years 26-27 and 27-28. So 24-25, you can see we increased by 3.51%, a little over 682,000. This year was our big year. Remember when I talked about we had 4 different developments that really brought our taxes above, well beyond the 3.5 projected amount. And so we're right now looking at 7.57. We will get a final number for that in August. But then going back to our 3.5 growth rate for 26-27 and 27-28. Love the slide. I think it's really cool.
This is just a slide that I put in kind of for fun. So we started tracking, property tax revenue way back in 2000, 2001, and at that time, our property taxes were 4.33 million for our school district. And so since then, we have increased 365% in property tax growth. The highest earning year being, I believe that says 2000. 1, 2, thank you. And then, of course, the 7.57 we just spoke about, but I was like, wow, this is a crazy growth in our city of Calistoga from 2000 up through 2028, 29. Yeah. This slide shows us the difference between what our enrollment and funded ADA looks like in our LCFF calculation compared to where our salaries and benefits lie. So we're kind of going in the opposite directions here. We've got enrollment going down, but our salaries and benefits are going up. And you will see that this is a very big reason as to why we are deficit spending in the years coming up. And we'll talk about that in a couple slides. Cynthia, so we can talk about the original, so I can see the slides. Sorry. Oh, yeah. You can see the whole, can't see the whole slide. There you go. Thank you. So total personal expenditures will climb from 22.33 million in 25-26 to over 24.16 million in 27 or 28-29. So a little over 2-something million in the next 3 years. And then we have lost over 64 students since 25-26, and looking at that going forward into 28-29. So we're definitely seeing a decline in our student enrollment. This shows the impact of our functions within our budget. And so we budget by function, meaning we budget by instruction, instructional support, which might be technology or professional development, plants and services, maintenance and operations. And so out of all those different functions, over 80% of what we do spend on our budget is in instruction or instructional support, which is the way it should be. Safety net, segmenting the ending fund balance. So we're looking at a $9.4 million balance to the 26-27 ending funds. And out of all of that, we have different categories of how they're assigned. We have unassigned, which means they haven't been assigned to anything yet. We have the reserve for economic uncertainties. That is supposed to be a 4% minimum for our state requirement, but we have a board policy that states 10, so that 2.9 represents 10%. And then we have about 3.83 of assigned services that we have earmarked for different assignments or projects that we may be planning. And then the restricted balance is all of those restricted funds like special ed or one-time funds that we are restricted, or our use and spending is in more of the restricted nature. Within our assigned funds, we show at this point modernization of classroom furniture. We were at 2 million at second interim. Part of that big $800,000 transfer is a reduction of spending these funds down a little bit. So 1.13 million is what we will have left at the end of 26-27. We have money set aside for technology infrastructure, mandated cost one-time revenue that we still have sitting in our budget somewhere as one-time revenue, preschool retention, STRS and PERS obligation increases for the district, emergency maintenance repairs at 150,000. SB 218, we set aside about $100,000 because we don't know what we're going to get billed through SB 218 liabilities. And then dual immersion through 29-30 is at $100,000. And then the mock carryovers are oh my gosh, just Medi-Cal administrative activities balance. Jeez, lost my brain there for a second. What's not in the 26-27 budget? And I said yet, because these are all things that were proposed in the May revise, but we don't have them in our budget yet. And so either the 45-day updates, we will be bringing this back and showing it to you as part of our budget. Or if they don't go through, we'll be showing certain changes at first interim. But the discretionary dollars, the governor has proposed one-time monies to come to school districts in 26-27. And because it's part of the May revision, that is not part of the budget yet. Once the budget does get adopted by the state, then we will know what that dollar amount is. It could be upwards to $944 a student. Special ed is going to get a per pupil increase, and so that is going to bring in about $200,000 more to the district in revenue. And then our CCSPP grant, right now, the way I've built the multi-year projections is that that grant will be expiring at the end of 26-27, and all those expenditures will be going back to our unrestricted side of our budgets. And we have applied for an expenditure extension to June 28th, which is something that the state is looking for implementation grant districts to do. We haven't heard back as to whether or not that's been extended yet. So if that does, we will be able to change our multi-year projections to reflect that. But at the same time, the governor has also proposed in his May revision to continue with districts that have implemented the CCSPP grants to continue those funds as ongoing. And so we have the potential to see $190,000 per year per school site in ongoing funding for those grants, which would mean we wouldn't need to transfer all of those funds back to unrestricted. We could keep those in those restricted area and under that grant. So all of this is great news if it all gets passed in the state budget adoption. On the multi-year projection side of the house, charting for our fiscal future. So we have about almost a $30 million budget next year. And part of that is all of our unrestricted dollars and all of our restricted dollars coming together and creating our operational budget of salaries, benefits, supplies, services, and capital outlay. If we look at our unrestricted funds in 26-27, we are looking at revenues of 20 million and expenditures of 20.5 million. You can see along the line as we go through each year, our revenues are less than our expenditures, which creates deficit spending. We have steady revenue growth, but our ongoing costs are obviously absorbing that, and then some of our ending fund balance to make it through our multi-year projections. On the restricted side, same thing. We are seeing revenues of 7.8, 7.9, and 8 million. And then, of course, expenditures on the higher side of the revenue. And same thing, we are, using our reserves to kind of balance our budget going forward. And part of this restricted process is also the CCSP grants that I talked about going back to unrestricted. And so that's a big part of our deficit spending as well in the out years is those restricted funds going to unrestricted. This is a combined picture of our restricted and unrestricted operations. And so the blue is our unrestricted side, and then that teal green is the restricted side. So the human capital investment. I don't know if I like these words or not. I was telling Dr. Pittman today, it's used in business all the time, but it hasn't been used a lot in school districts, but we do. We invest in our personnel, and that's where most of our money does go in our budget. And so our employee benefits are going from 7.48 in 26-27 to about 7.9 in 28-29. And then you can see the jump in classified salaries as well as certificated salaries. Having given you all of this information, the two big things we need to probably think about going forward is we are declining in enrollment, which means we are declining in ADA, and we are declining in our ending fund balance as we use reserves to balance our budget. So looking from this year to 28-29, we will see a 19% reduction in our ending fund balances. This is a look at all of our other funds, and so that little square right there captures adult ed, cafeteria, bond fund, developer fees, state facilities, capital outlay. I will say there are a couple, like capital outlay fund 40, those are high balances because we have things that are not encumbered yet in June that will affect both that 2 million in June for this year and also in the 26-27 balance. But other than that, these are the ending fund balances for both this year and next year. One of the things I did need to do for cafeteria is I did need to increase what we are contributing to cafeteria, because they need to have an operating capital for 3 months of the summer, so June, July, and August. And we didn't have enough in their ending fund balance to be able to do that. So we are going to have to increase what we are sending to the cafeteria program. Again, we are safely absorbing vital staff positions in the unrestricted core as temporary funding sunsets and ensuring no disruptions to any kind of student services or student programs. We do maintain fiscal stability, even though we are using some of our ending fund balances to balance our budget. For now, we are fiscally stable, but we do, as we've talked about in many of my presentations, we do need to do something about it. We're deficit spending quite a bit in next year and the year after that, so we want to make sure that we do our due diligence to keep us fiscally sound. And then we're investing in our people. We're securing 80% of our budget for all of our district expenditures go exclusively to staff and staff compensation from this year all the way through 2029. And that is all I have for the budget hearing tonight, unless you have questions for me.
Thank you. Any questions from the board or from staff? Any comments from the public?
No.
Okay, well, then we'll close the public hearing at 6:51. Thank you, Maureen. Item 9, information discussion, 9.1, SRO position discussion.
So, we have an SRO, we partner with the city of Calistoga. Previously, several years ago, they had a grant that was a federal grant that covered the entire position. Then about 3 years ago, that grant got cut in half. And they came to the district and they said, you know, we have the position, we have the personnel, would the district be interested in backfilling part of that so that it could still be a full-time position? So the grant would pay for half, the district would pay for a quarter, and the city would pay for a quarter, and we went into an agreement with that. Fast forward to this year, this last cycle, they reapplied for the grant and they were not granted the grant. So the grant is going away. They are reapplying and hopefully there will be news in October, November. But as of right now, starting in July, there will not be grant funding to fund the SRO position. We currently have allocated from previous years, $40,000. That's our 25% cut for this position. So I wanted to bring it to the board to have a discussion. We're not gonna take action tonight, but we can have a discussion about how you want me to go about having a conversation with the city. There really are 3 options, and I'm gonna say all 3 options, and I'm not gonna recommend one. So one option is for us to, since there is no grant money, in order to keep the position at full, the city would pay for half and we would pay for half. So our 40,000 would go to 80,000. I'm not recommending that, considering what we're talking about if we're deficit spending. That is a concern of mine of us to add an additional increase in costs. The other option is for us to go back to the city and say, well, what can we get for $40,000? And the third option is for us to go back and say, you know what, we want to hold off. We have a great partnership with you. We can't imagine that if we needed you, you would say no. And so let's sit and wait and not have anything until we find out if the grant is returning. And so it's open to the board for us to have a discussion, for you to ask questions that I could go back to the city with. Again, we're not taking action tonight. It's just us having a conversation about the SRO position and how we want to move forward with the fact that we are paying for a portion of it, and that portion may increase or decrease.
I just have a clarifying question. The DARE program in 5th grade. If there is no SRO, that program will still continue.
It is my understanding that yes, that is, because I don't think that that's part of the SRO. I think that's outside of the SRO, but I will ask that clarifying question.
Okay, and the same with like the every 15 minutes program and other, though that is unrelated to the funding of this position.
That is correct.
I think we ask what we can get with the money that we've already budgeted and spent and see what the city can work with us on that. So that's option B, right? 2.
I feel like if we do go that way, though, we need to have a way to check the boxes that agreement is being adhered to on both sides.
So a clear understanding of what the expectations are and how the person is meeting and not meeting.
And that whoever fills that position can be held accountable for the responsibilities that they hold. Because I know that we have had some challenges. And I feel like if we are investing money into the safety of our students, it shouldn't be on the back burner or in the back of someone's mind, it should be a priority. And $40,000 is not a small amount of money, and based on our track record, I would not feel comfortable doubling that amount to fund half the position.
Anybody else?
I will say that if you wanna be asking about the DARE program and every 15 minutes. I know that the SRO plays a big role in the coordination, so if we don't have that position, who will do it?
Yeah.
That's the big question, and that maybe will. Open the conversation for that part-time, the very, a few hours for those $40,000 to coordinate.
Yeah, and I don't know the history behind it. What I do know is that I think it's somewhat of a coincidence. Because last year we had a different SRO. And that SRO did not lead DARE, nor did that SRO lead every 15 minutes. Our current SRO did, even though that person was not the SRO. So I think that while our current SRO has done that work, when that SRO was not our SRO, that person still did that work. And so that's why I feel like it's outside of it, and that person would still be doing those two things. Or
I
could
also
still- or
would not
could
wanna
still be doing
go
those two
into
things.
the agreement with that assumption.
Right,
I would
right.
want it
Yeah.
a definitive description.
Yeah, but I think that SRO that was on leave, that's why the current SRO took that, wasn't it?
No,
I thought that was the situation, but anyway, okay,
but yes, it's something that needs to be clear.
yeah.
Depending what they answer about the $40,000 that we've already budgeted, we could create, I mean, we have the opportunity to redo that in that contract.
Yes,
Because, yeah.
yes,
Have they given us anything to go on?
no. We're supposed to go back to them after tonight to tell them how you're feeling. Matt, Rudy?
Is there any other opportunity to apply for, say, a grant funding and going together as the?
So they are reapplying for.
Right, but a separate.
But currently, that is not my understanding. They've communicated to me that it's a sit and wait game right now.
Yeah,
And they're going to reapply, and I think that they've submitted the application. And that they're supposed to find out in September or October, and it would come to fruition in November if we were to get.
Are there any grants of funding we can apply for on our side?
I have not looked for any, but I can.
Can we explore that?
I was
Finding the
thinking
free
maybe the
money?
Tower Foundation would be an option, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so, what I have is I will go back to the chief and the city. I would clarify that if we don't have an official SRO, that DARE and every 15 minutes is still provided, and who would be actually doing that work. I'm also gonna ask them, what would we get if we could only contribute $40,000? What would that look like? And to have a clear outline. And then I will also start exploring other funds to see if we could help out this as well.
I have one more question about that. If, when does this current contract,
June 30th.
like, we're not gonna get another grant.
Before, right.
Right,
No.
okay.
Well, I'm.
But I will have
Planning.
Yeah, I will have conversations with them before our next board meeting, and we'll be able to bring back information by then.
Got it.
Okay.
Is there anything, asking for both sites, Monica and Kesa, is there anything the SRO does on both sites that's kind of outside of their SRO requirements that would then possibly be put in jeopardy if we didn't have this position?
The SRO usually comes to school dances and off-site things like prom. Does help support, supervise. Also like big football games, homecoming, big events, they're usually present. Again, I don't know if there would be other officers on duty, whether or not it was our SRO or not, would they still come on campus?
Yeah, I would say for prom, probably not. For the football game, absolutely.
Would someone lose their job if?
No, absolutely not. No, there is still a position with the PD. So great question. I should have said that earlier. Nobody is in danger of losing their job.
Case, anything at the elementary school that you can think of? I don't wanna put you on the
There's-
spot, but I just
No,
want
that's okay. I think, I don't know the history, but my sense is that, you know, if we're calling for a CPS report.
Yeah.
Or we're saying, hey, we got some traffic issues here, I feel like
Yeah.
the anyone who called would still come support us.
yeah,
I don't know of any specific examples when they're
okay,
doing something that we wouldn't have if we do not have an SRO, but
Yeah.
like, except for like the dare. Right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Cause I don't wanna take away from current programs that are offered, but I also don't wanna fund the full salary of someone who would only be here 50% of the time, but, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 9.2, GO bond election 2022 series 2026, cost of issuance.
Okay, so you know that we sold 2 bonds in May. One of the things that we need to do after we sell the bonds is we need to bring back to the board the cost of issuance. And so for the $9 million bond that we sold, the original cost of issuance estimate was $236,000. We spent $194,869.73, which is a cost savings of $41,130.27. On the refunding bond, it was a $2.745 million refunding bond. And the original cost estimate was $110,940. We went over on that one, and the cost overage was $28,845.27. Between the both, we saved about $12,285. But this is just a report to the board. It needs to be at a public board meeting, and so you are receiving this information tonight. Thank you.
Questions? Great, thank you. Okay, so that brings us to 10 reports. 10.1, student representative. Alicia, you're up.
My computer did not make it through the meeting.
Oh, no.
Hello staff, administrators, superintendents, teachers and principals. I will just be sharing my experience and it's singular, but I will explain them. As a student board member, it has been inspiring to witness our community's growth through the support, dedication, and collaboration of our students, families, educators, staff, and community members. Throughout this year, I have personally witnessed how our community protects, cares, and guides each other through school events, recognitions, conflicts, and the joys and fears of our community. I am grateful for the support, the guidance, and dedication you have all given to this district. Serving as a student representative has been a privilege that not many get. Although I may have missed a few board meetings, the ones I attended were the best moments of my time here. I am grateful for the opportunity to represent student voices at Sable and to contribute to conversations that help shape the future of our school. Thank you, and I hope next year is better. With that being said, going out the script, I actually want to give thank you to everyone because when I first came in here, I was super shy. I was super scared actually because I didn't know what to put in my report. But I have learned a lot, and behind the scenes of me representing the students, there's my ASB classmates that have helped me with my reports. But with that being said, I have one more request, and that is a wellness center for the high school. Just because I've seen the impact it has on CES, and I literally can't imagine what it would do for high school, especially like seniors and college applications and all that, so. Hope you take that in mind, and thank you so much for all your support, and I hope to see you at graduation, which I forgot to put on my report, but it's next today.
You know that? Wonderful to have you on board. We really appreciate your contribution.
And we'll see you at graduation.
Great, thank you. Okay, 10.2, Calistoga Associated Teachers.
It's disappointing that an agreement was unable to be reached at our last contract negotiations on May 29th. The last offer we brought to the table is both reasonable and affordable. Our proposal is for a salary increase of 3.8%. 3.8% is the current CPI, Consumer Price Index, which is the federal government's primary measurement of the rate of inflation. It's not unreasonable to expect wages to keep pace with inflation. Additionally, we've asked for an increase to the district's cap for health insurance. Cost of health insurance has climbed significantly, more than 8% per year for the past 2 years. Point that our members are now paying $16,000 to $25,000 per year for family plans. Without an increase to the district's contribution, health insurance costs will go up by thousands of dollars for these members, costing up to $29,000 for some people. The district can afford both these things. This combined compensation package represents 4.73%, which is far less than 7.57% increase in ongoing annual property tax revenues that the district will now be receiving. In fact, the total cost for our offer is less than the $700,000 that the district already said they were willing and able to spend when they came to the table on March 25th. So we're at an impasse. This means that a state mediator will get involved and can't reach an agreement through mediation. The next step would be fact finding, in which third-party fact finders evaluate the facts and information and then issue a public report. Any questions?
Thank you. 10.3, Classified School Employees Association.
No report?
We're good.
Okay.
All right.
10.4, Calistoga Elementary School Principal.
Stand up there.
Yeah,
You're fine. I had a little fun with it because it is the end of the year and every day, every week we pass through another milestone or event in the school year, so I have a little fun for you. The end of the year brings a flurry of play from the bike rodeo to the carnival day. With sixth graders shining in promotion lines, our Calistoga spirit consistently shines. The trips were all grand from the coast, Red Heavens, to the peak, Yosemite. We found out our own rhythm through each passing week. Assemblies galore today, and art projects too, a concert, class parties, and packing boxes too. Getting ready to move. As acting principal, I'm proud of this crew and the work we have done all the season through. A special thanks and to the foundations laid by Nicole Lamar, previous principal. It makes continuing these special school traditions a tad easier. And she will be missed, and hugs to you from the Wildcats.
Thank you. Any questions?
Dr. Seuss.
Now you're gonna dance.
Right.
Song and dance.
You're welcome to.
10.5, California Junior Senior High School Principal.
Thank you, good evening. I did not write a poem, sorry, I wrote a report. LCAP Goal 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students. CJSHS is entering the last week of school, which includes final exams and a modified schedule. We successfully completed CASP and AP testing during May and will await the results during summer months. After I submitted this, we did get an email that Alex Andry, amazing data specialist, was able to push out to families the past scores. So we will be reviewing the results of all spring assessments in preparation for the fall. We have completed the creation of the master schedule for the 26-27 school year and will continue to fine tune some of the schedules prior to the start of the next school year. Our MIT Invent class attended the national convention during the first week of May to present 2 of their inventions. Sorry, that were selected at the state convention. We are excited to celebrate their accomplishments on both the thermoregulatory device and the sexual assault awareness presentations. LCAP Goal 2, provide a safe, healthy, and positive school environment. CJSHS held its first open mic event during the month of May and celebrated many different types of talents. A student mini film was shared, students sang, told jokes, played instruments, and parents were also encouraged to participate. We had a few parents who really enjoyed singing. It was great. As a first-time event, CJSH is proud to create a safe space where students and adults can creatively share their passions with our school community. We will continue to maintain this event as an opportunity to showcase the many talents our students and parents have in our community. Additionally, the annual art show was held in May at the Bremen Center. It was an amazing turnout with many diverse student pieces, music, and snacks. We thank the community and district for supporting this event for our students. In regards to LCAP Goal 3, increase parent engagement and enhanced communication. CJSHS held its senior awards night where over $200,000 was granted in scholarships and awards to our students. Parents, students, and community members were present to celebrate these monetary awards for our outstanding students. CJSH will hold its annual 8th grade promotion and senior graduation on June 10th and 11th, respectively. We look forward to hosting students, families, and community members on our new field for our graduation. The Sober Grad Parent Committee has worked diligently to raise funds to create an amazing celebration for our seniors. They will be hosting a party after graduation, and all seniors are encouraged to attend the Safe and Sober celebration. That concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Thing tonight, using in your next report.
I'm sorry, sing?
Since you didn't sing tonight, can you sing in your next report?
I can ask the parent.
Good to delegate.
The public also wants to hear that.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm the dancer, Paul.
Yes, we have been hosting hip hop and folklorico and it's been pretty fun to pop in and sometimes I get to take the class with the kids. And so sometimes when we see each other in the hallway, we're able to do some of the silly moves and it's been fun. Due to the Prop 28 funds, we've been able to offer those after school.
So I changed my request from singing to dancing.
Did you
Yeah. And just to confirm, eighth grade graduation is in the gym?
Gym, yes. And
High school
graduation,
field.
air conditioning.
The air conditioned gym?
Yeah, there will not be air conditioning.
For no
on the
specific
field,
reason,
sorry.
just asking.
Thanks.
It's gonna be hot.
Water, fans.
All right, 10.6, Director of Facilities, Maintenance and Operations.
Yeah, our kickoff meeting for the generator this week.
Woo!
Once we get all squared away, the contractor will, get mobilizing, I'd say in the next few weeks, they'll be mobilizing to get started on that project. Our TK classrooms are pretty much ready to go. There's a few minor punch list items like, some door hardware changes, some landscape, additions. I guess we changed some, they want grass inside the bioswale and trying to mow inside there would be tough. So we removed that without realizing that there was a reason for the grass. So we're going to plant these additional plants around it. The landscape architect because they want and get that taken care of. There's a few things for Larry as well, but I'll be ready for the start of the school year. And the portable relocation, a little bit last week. One of the builders was the lowest bid, and if they're approved tonight, they'll get on the documents, get those squared away, and then we'll figure out what that kickoff meeting is. Then, as part of that project, we'll be expanding the parking spaces in the district office. I think we'll add 5 or 6 and resurface that. And then the last thing is graduation, the first one in the new field, and should be pretty awesome. We'll see that.
Any questions?
Thank
Okay, Chris.
you.
10.7, Director of Educational Services and Human Resources.
Hey, good evening. I put my report into AI just now and made a poem.
Are you gonna sing
I'm
it?
gonna read this poem to you.
You can't leave us like that.
It's not very good. Rise again, not as an experiment, but as a tradition beginning to take root, et cetera, et cetera. What am I report? Okay, so I'm very excited about summer school. This is now it's like a second school year. We serve hundreds of kids in the summer. It's a big project. I'm very excited about it. This summer, we're going to continue to partner with Scholastic Education for our math and English curriculum, Galileo for our STEM curriculum and CES. That was a hit last year. We'll continue to offer our writing class, music and art at CES, physical education at both sites. We'll have a new AVID course taught by Ms. Cepeda at the junior senior high school this summer. We're again partnering with NCOE, County Office of Ed, to bring a series of science and technology electives for our students and field trips for our middle school program. So it's an excellent program. I think it's enriching. It's what we want, right? It's a balance of learning, but also it's summer. It's fun. It's engaging. I just want to share some kudos for those involved in the planning. It's a big lift. Tammy and Randy, our summer principals, are just exemplary at the principling, but also in the planning process. They're really insightful. Chris in facilities, Rosa in food service, Alex and Larry for their technology support. NCOE partners in the planning, Up Valley Family Center with Marcella Rodriguez, also Boys and Girls Club, Hearts and Hands, Situate Preschool. It takes a real village. It's very Napa, process. It takes a village of a lot of people to come together, be flexible, have ideas to make this thing work. So I'm very grateful for the partnerships that we have. In terms of enrollment, we have an increase from 63 to 73 students at the junior high. We're down 172 to 138 students at the elementary school. Those numbers will creep up, I think, a little bit between now and the first day, but I think we'll probably be, 5% lower than normal, but close. The senior high school is always it's like a last minute process where Michelle, the counselor at the junior senior high school, works with students to figure out who needs credit recovery. That kind of happens at the end of the school year, and then she gets students set up. So we'll see what that number will come in like the day after school gets out. Staffing, we have about the same number of staff we typically have had. There's no new staff in our program this year. It's all current Calistoga staff or returning staff from previous summer schools, which is really cool because it's staff that they know how to run our summer program. They know how to use the curriculum. We don't have to do any additional training. So it's really cool. I had some colleagues around, some teacher friends and other people saying, hey, when are you gonna send that email that you need summer teachers? I said, don't, we're fully staffed, right? Yeah, returning teachers, so it's very cool. We have an additional college credit opportunity that just kind of came to fruition. Heather Brooks, science teacher at the junior senior high school, has been collaborating with the CTE department at COE at the Napa County Office of Ed. She's just been like really, working hard to say, I want one of my classes to get kids college credit. And so they've been like reaching out to universities and colleges, trying to find a solution. And we just kind of were informed over the last month that they have an agreement with Diablo Valley Community College to get Miss Brooks' physics and alternative energy class certified for articulated college credit. And what that means is a little bit different from dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is like you enroll in a high school class, you take the class, you get high school credit and college credit. Articulation is you take the high school class and then you take a test. If you pass the test, you get college credit. So that doesn't need like a CCAP agreement for the board to approve, so you won't see that, but it does look like this is happening. So very excited. We'll have another college credit opportunity for our students. Most students take physics, alternative energy. And just big kudos to Ms. Brooks. She just, she made it happen. She was working behind the scenes with NCOE and brought it to fruition. And again, this is another great partnership. NCOE's CT department is excellent. They've been really helpful. A lot of new laws are in the works. I've shared with you before, we have a very activist legislature in general and in particular with education. I'm not going to share a lot of them with you because we don't know quite yet which ones are going to make it into laws, into approved laws, but I do want to share with you the two of them that I like. So number one, 82555, reforming the English learner reclassification process. California has four measures that a student has to go through to go from English learner to reclassified English proficient. Four things they have to do. Most states have one, right? And so there's a proposal to make it one. So you take the LPAC test, and if you show English proficiency on that test, you are automatically reclassified. No more other hoops, no more other steps. This law also includes, which is super important, gives the IEP team for special education students power to make that decision to reclassify a student, one which is controlled by the IEP team, including the family. Super important, because if a student has a learning disability and that's the reason they cannot show proficiency on the test, they shouldn't be relegated to lifelong English learner status. This is a really common sense stuff. So kudos to the legislature for bringing this forward. This is likely going to pass. It's got a 75 to 95% chance. If it does, it won't go into effect until 27-28. So I will share information. If it passes, I'll be bringing an updated reclassification bill. So another law, the AB 249, which starts the process to consolidate the school accountability report card, the SARC, with the California dashboard. We currently have two documents, the old SARC, school accountability report card, and the new dashboard. Each school has both of these, and they have similar information that overlaps, and they have some unique information. And so there's a conversation this bill would start about consolidating those two. Very smart, right? Common sense. Right now, school districts are maintaining two different systems, and families have to go to two different systems that look different. And I really appreciate that neither of these laws reduces the accountability expectations for schools, but they reduce the unnecessary complex administrative burdens. I think we all want to keep the energy, the time, and the dollars as close to kids as possible. And for us to do that, the legislature has got to either, if not deregulate education to some degree, make it more efficient so that we can put our energy closer to the kids and less on complex processes. That's my soapbox. And then lastly, just want to share something about staff retention. I think they had 2 resignations this year. That puts us above 98% staff retention. We were, I think, 100% last year, and we've been above 98% almost every year. And then we were also at 100% job fill rate every year. And it just is such a great sign, when we get to the end of the year and we look at that. This means that people want to work in Calistoga. when they get here, they don't want to leave. We should feel good about that. That we've got a culture, that, you know, that employees want to be in to serve our kids, which is really important, especially when school districts are having a hard time finding classified staff and certificated staff. Calistoga continues to be a place where we can hire great people and we stay here to serve our kids. I'm really, really excited about it. That's my report for tonight.
Thank you.
I guess that was better than a poem.
I still want to hear
The poem I could for it's AI, I need like iterations.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll let it slide.
Next one.
22nd, we'll hold you.
All right, 10.8, superintendent.
Thank you. I just want to report on some end of the year activities that have been happening or are going to continue to happen. So last week we had our end of year celebration at the inn. Well received, got to celebrate all the great things that we've done this year that we haven't done in the past or that we continue to do. And it was just a nice way to close out the year and celebrate the great staff that we have and the work that we do here in Calistoga for our students. That same night, we had our PK graduation. Did Miss Garibay leave?
Yeah.
I wanted to publicly thank her for organizing the work that we do with PK. While we did not have as many parents involved this year, we think part of it was because of the topic, because it was a repeat of something we'd done several years ago, and many of our families had already done it. But regardless, that is one of the most amazing experiences for me. Many of our families, many of our parents have never had a graduation experience. Some did not complete school at all. And Moni G puts on this event with PK to where she gets them caps and they are called up, they are awarded their certificate, and they get to throw their caps and just, you know, them showing the time and effort that they have put into attending these classes on either 6 to 8 weeks every night, once a week at night. And for their children to see how important it is to be involved in this learning, just makes all the difference. And so it's a really, really special event and I always enjoy it. We already commented on our event team. They came back from Detroit. They had a fantastic time. Unfortunately, they did not win an award. But they know that they are winners. And the reason that they know that is that I finally got the numbers from Miss Brooks. 300,000 student applications across the nation were submitted to attend this particular convention, of which they chose 513 students to be represented. So there were 513 students present, of which 16 were from Calistoga.
Woo!
Which I guarantee is the largest number represented from any group at that place.
Woo!
And so our students knew how special it was, that even though they didn't get the top award, they are among the top students in the nation to have been accepted to go to this experience. And they walked away knowing that, the work that they have put in, they will get to continue to do, and they have grown. And they got to see a place that many of us have not even seen. Michael knows Detroit, but the rest of them still. But they did have an amazing experience, and they came back bigger and better for it. So we are all really fortunate, and to highlight the work that Michael brought up about us having a new college course. This couldn't have happened without Heather Brooks. And so I want to publicly say, the time and effort that she puts into that class and the experiences these kids are having, is just amazing. And we're looking forward to, in 2 years, what's going to happen next. We had our annual art show at the Brandon Center. Thank you for those that were able to attend. It was such an elevated experience. It was amazing. Many people from the community came out. We celebrated our students. Some of our students actually sold their art pieces. Some sold their art pieces and got commissioned to do other artwork. And then we also were able to raise funds for our invent team class through sales as well. So it was a pretty exciting event. This is the last week of school. We have 2 days left, not even 2 full days. Hard days. I think our students and staff can handle that. We had our CES award ceremonies today. So got to see many of our students be rewarded for the time and effort that they put into their growth. Tomorrow night is 6th grade promotion out on Berry Field at 6 p.m. Wednesday is 8th grade promotion at 7 p.m. here in the gym. And then Thursday is our graduation out on our beautiful field, also at 7 p.m. That's what I've got.
Is tomorrow the minimum day?
only Wednesday for elementary.
Tomorrow's a full day.
Yeah, tomorrow's a full day of the elementary. It's a modified schedule for the junior, senior high school just because of times.
Any other questions? Thank you. Item 11, action items. Action item protocol is protocol for action items in station, questions from the board, public input, deliberation by the board, and voting by the board. During public input, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person. 11.2 is the job description for the arts and music teacher.
Yep, we're very excited. We currently have 2 Babbitt teaching positions in the district. We have a music teacher and an art teacher. So this is a new job description. It's designed to intentionally create opportunities for students, primarily at the elementary school, to learn about integrated drama, dance, fine arts, as well as music. This is a new opportunity for our students, based on the wants of our families, for their children to be exposed to a wider variety of the arts, and is in line with the district's vision for our Babbitt program. I bring this job description to you for your approval.
Okay. And the recommended action is to approve the job description for the arts and music teacher as presented. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment that I appreciate the district responding to the input of our families that music education is very important to our district, and maintaining that. It's important for students who potentially, like mine, love the instrument, but don't want that to be their primary musical exposure. And so that we can give students sort of other opportunities to have that in their life, so. And I would move to approve.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Okay, 11.3, tentative agreements between Calistoga Joint Unified School District and California School Employees Association and its Calistoga Chapter 555.
There are 10 tentative agreements here to approve, which is a large scale. It's the representation of a tremendous amount of work by the district and CSEA bargaining teams. And we bring them to you for your approval. Great.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 11.4, memorandum of understanding between the district and CSEA Calistoga Chapter 555 regarding the reduction of the district driver position.
Yep, so we, during negotiations, we agreed to change the work year of our district drivers from 12 months to 180 days, which I'll just say is representative of their work. They're not 12-month employees, they really are. They drive our students during the school year, and sometimes you drive summer. So I think both parties felt that was the right thing to do, though we do recognize that doing that creates an impact on the employees in those driver positions. And so what this agreement is designed to do is to take that into consideration and make sure that that driver is made whole during this process of reducing a position from 12 months to 180 days.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.5, memorandum of understanding between the district and CSEA Calistoga Chapter 555 regarding the bilingual stipend.
This is a significant issue. When we talk about our classified staff who have bilingual skills, who provide a service to the district and its students. And CSEA and the district agreed that those staff should be compensated for those skills and that work. We did our comps to try to find a number that felt normal and in line with practice. We decided to put it in the form of an MOU just because it's significant and it's a change. So let's do this for a year and see if this approach works, because there are different ways to approach the compensation and the expectations for the employees. And so this is the MOU, and I'll say we'll probably bring something back again next year as we see how this goes and see if maybe this is the right strategy, or maybe we need to make adjustments in the future.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.6, memorandum of understanding between the district and CSEA Calistoga Chapter 555 regarding the application of bereavement leave provisions and retroactive remedy for employee number 618.
So during negotiations, and one of the tentative agreements addresses bereavement leave. And as a result of that agreement in the contract, there is an impact on an employee who was eligible for bereavement leave last year. The parties felt that it was appropriate to call out that that agreement around bereavement leave really should be applied retroactively to the employee last year so that she can benefit from the provisions in that agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.7 memorandum of understanding between the district and CSEA Calistoga chapter 555 regarding the implementation timeline and retroactive application of enhanced post-retirement benefits.
This is actually similar to the last item. We agreed to an enhanced post-retirement contribution to health benefits for the contract that begins in July. And so what this MOU says is that that agreement, which is in the new contract, will apply to those employees that decide to retire during this school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.8 memorandum of understanding between the district and CSEA Calistoga chapter 555 regarding technological changes, AI and data privacy.
So something's definitely happening with AI, right? And it's gonna impact everyone. It's probably gonna impact our employees in some way. And you see the laws in the state right now that the state legislature is trying to wrestle with what the laws might look like. And so for now, what we've agreed to is that we're gonna meet on a regular basis through 2029 school year, and meet on a regular scheduled basis to talk about these issues that we all have concerns about. And to see are our employees being adversely impacted? If so, what would be the remedy? Those types of things, because we don't really know what that impact's going to be yet, but we know it's an important issue that we really do need to be deliberately meeting about, and not just assuming that the resolutions will happen somehow.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 11.9 AB 1200 disclosure for 26-2027 California School Employees Association chapter 555.
So AB 1200 requires school districts to disclose the total dollar amount being spent on an agreement made between a bargaining unit and a district. The disclosure must be presented at a public meeting. So this disclosure includes the agreed 3.18% salary schedule improvement for CSEA, a 1.07% increase to health and welfare, which equates to 8.17% increase to the cap, where the cap will go from $1,400 per month to $1,760 per month. A 1.2% step and column movement rate into 26-27, a 1.0% commitment to fund retirement benefits. This disclosure also includes all the other TA agreements and MOUs signed with CSEA. The total cost to this agreement is $340,037.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.10 2026-2027 classified salary schedules.
This item takes the increases to salary and health and benefits described in item 11.9 and applies them to the classified salary schedules which are presented here.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.11 disclosure 2026-2027 unrepresented units.
So this disclosure represents certificated management, classified management, and confidential employees. The disclosure shows a 3.18% increase to the salary schedules, as well as a 1.07% increase to health and welfare benefits, which raises the district cap from $937 per month to $1,185 per month. This equates to a total increase of 4.25% ongoing, just like CSEA. The total cost is $121,580.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.12 unrepresented salaries, salary schedules 2026-2027.
Similarly, these are the new salary schedules for certificated management, for classified management, and confidential based on the compensations increases described in item 11.11.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.13, addendum to superintendent's employment agreement.
That's me, it's my.
Yes.
It's my eyes, actually. This is a memorandum, an addendum to the superintendent's contract, which applies that 4.25% increase that was agreed to for classified staff, for management staff, and it applies those same increases to the salary and then its contribution for the superintendent.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.14, memorandums of understanding and agreement with Up Valley Family Center.
So these provided documents consist of our 4 contractual agreements between Calistoga Joint Unified and Up Valley Family Centers that outline the terms, funding, and legal protocols for delivering mental health, educational support, and community services to our students and families. The first document is a $4,715 memorandum of understanding for specific educationally related individual mental health and counseling services. The second document is a broader $261,418 MOU that covers comprehensive student and family wellness services, including clinical therapy, adult education classes, our community schools program, and restorative justice services. The third document is a $230,260 MOU dedicated to expanding the Calistoga Community Schools Initiative through the California Community Schools Partnership Program, which funds specialized services for special needs families, elementary social groups, and community programming. And finally, the fourth document is an independent contractor services agreement establishing the underlying legal framework, qualification standards, insurance requirements, and background check liabilities for the partnership, alongside detailed data sharing and individual confidentiality protocols to protect student information. And once again, these are ongoing contracts that we've had. It's just repeating, but we're bringing under an action item because of the large dollar.
That's someone.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 11.15, resolution 252614, intent to dedicate waterline utility easement to the city of Calistoga.
So the city of Calistoga has a main water line that runs directly into the football field. Kind of along the fire lane, on the side of the bleacher and then into the field. It never really mattered before because they had to fix it, they just dig it up and then repair it like they normally would, but now that we have our artificial turf and artificial track, there's certain specifications they need to meet when they backfill and all that, so we just wanted to make sure that, well, the city approached us and basically we want to clarify who's responsible for what and also clarifies how that comes back together, so it delineates between what the city's responsible for and what the school district would be responsible. This is a resolution, once passed, we'll post, notify the community for public hearing on the next meeting. And then after that, forward. And then on the city side, they'll go there to city council.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 11.16, resolution 252615, authorizing filing of applications for state allocation board administered career technical education facilities program and acknowledging 5-year school facilities master plan requirements.
So the state has recently put out that they have a CTE grant available for facilities. The grant application is due in December. We plan on applying to receive some of these matching funds, specifically for our STEM building, because since we've already built it, we can retroactively go back and request matching funds. But in order to do that, we have to actually submit this resolution first, and we'll apply for the grant. It is a merit-based, so they get all the applications and they review them all and then they make decisions. So it's not on a first come, first serve. They do have a bucket of money. We qualify for what we believe up to $6 million. And again, it's a percentage based on, the entire STEM building is not all of our CTE classes, but 3 of the classrooms and the shared workspace is working with our CTE classes. So that'll be a percentage that we'll be able to apply for. But again, in order to actually do the grant application, we need to submit this. And any money that we receive goes back into our facilities fund specifically. That's what the money is for. So we ask that the board approve this resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.17, revised agreement with Persinger Architects and Associates, Inc. for CHS supportables and fencing.
Persinger has a agreement with Persinger come to the board last month. We didn't realize that it had an incorrect fee amount, so, this particular, agreement has the correct fee.
And so just to be clear, the fee is not $993,000. Okay,
Good.
How much is it?
it should be closer to
It's
88,000.
88,000.
Savings of $900,000.
Yes.
So would you like to make the motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.18, agreement with 101 Builders Inc. for the Calistoga Elementary School Portable Relocation Project.
This is the low bidder I mentioned earlier for the portable relocation, and, their bid came in at $654,000. And that. I think it's on the.
And just for clarification, just because I asked this question earlier, this dollar amount is not just covering the physical relocation of them. It's of like making the land flat with the cement, all, like, there's all of the work that goes into it. It's not just the physical relocation, it's the whole project.
Yeah, the prep. The repair, elementary school.
Yeah, okay.
Along with the, work for the district office parking lot,
Right.
as well as fencing as well.
And the relocation of the vineyard.
I thought it was fencing as well.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Be great if it was fenced.
Yeah.
They can just throw it. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 11.19, agreement with Stanton Inspection Services for relocation of CHA-SHS portables.
This is the, inspector record we use for the fields. He's available to.
To approve.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
11.20, resolution 252616, governing board member elections.
So we have two seats that are coming up in November, and so this resolution is required in order for us to move forward with having those two seats on the ballot in November. They are 4-year terms. The terms will run from December 2026 through November 2030. And the two seats that are open are for Rios and board member Indira Lopez-Jones.
Excellent. So we need a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And that brings us to the consent agenda, item 12, which requires a roll call vote. Actions proposed for the consent agenda are deemed routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board, the audience, or staff request specific items to be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. And the recommended action is that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now we move to the roll call vote. Our student representative is absent. President Reed, aye. Clerk Rios,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Jones,
Aye.
Trustee Rockberg Allen.
Aye.
Brings us to closing items. 13.1 board member reports.
A couple of things. I think one, going back to the public comments that were made regarding the pride flag. I do think that it is important that our students feel welcomed, heard, and supported. I know that we have certain limitations on what flags we can and cannot fly on governmental flagpoles, but I think that having maybe a separate flagpole where we can show support for a variety of different celebrations during the year. I would be interested to see if there was a way we could fly the pride flag this month. I don't know how everybody else would look at.
I'd love to get a report on that, or figure out what we can do.
What would be the steps we would need to take?
I
So
agree with you, but if we wait for the 22nd.
No, yeah.
Board that it's kind of late, isn't it?
Yeah,
So we would need to hold a special board meeting. So if you're interested in holding a special board meeting, then we could find a date to do that between now and then.
The end of the week.
We just need 24 hours notice.
Should we try to figure that out now or?
I can try to figure that out and find a date, yeah, okay, and then I'll come back, so
Yeah.
I'll look into finding a date where at least. Hopefully all 5 of you are available
Yeah,
between now and next week.
yeah,
So that you can have the conversation and make a decision if you want to make a decision. In that time, I will also, do research on whether or not, it can be flown on the government flag. And if it can't, what is another way that we could honor it in the time being? So yes, okay, so expect me to reach out to you all to try to find a date where we can hold another special. Thank you.
and then I had just a couple other things. Want to touch on the after-school program for our TK students. Just because with Hearts and Hands, I'm not quite sure.
They are staying open.
There's, yeah, do they know where?
So they are at least through September at the current location.
Okay,
And then they are working with the city to find another location.
okay,
And I think they're gonna be spending, from what I understand, they're gonna be spending their summer getting that other location ready.
okay,
And then they have more than enough students enrolled for them to continue to stay open next
Okay.
year and continue to move forward.
okay,
So they did a lot of work and a lot of
Yeah.
outreach, and they've
Yeah.
gotten to where they need to get.
okay, good.
And so this summer, any TKers that were going will continue to go to the current facility.
Mhm.
And they'll be there through the beginning of the school year, and then hopefully they will have their new location and they can transition ahead.
Perfect. And then the other item I wanted to. Talked about a couple times in past meetings is, and Maureen brought it up earlier, is our declining enrollment. And students transferring out to neighboring districts. I think that, what she spoke about earlier today in the slide showing, the amount of students that we are going to lose to other districts or moving or just less kids in the community. I think it should really be a priority of ours to not only explore why it's happening, but prevent it from happening, learning the why and stopping the why kind of happening. I think most school districts in our area are experiencing declining enrollment. And to have our students leave our district to then go to a neighboring district, I think piles it on a little bit harder. So it's just something that I really think that we as a district should look into. And really put on the forefront because it could become a really big problem really quickly. And I don't think we can, bank our money on one program to keep students in, whether it's, the MIT program or the dual immersion program or anything. It's not a one fixes everything sort of situation. So I think it deserves, time and a lot of time spent to figure out what's happening and why. That's it.
Any other board report? I just wanted to add one thing, we already talked about most of the things that I would have brought up, but, on the MIT thing. The Nationals Invention Convention, yeah, they didn't win, but they were exposed to so much, they got to meet their peers, they got to meet fellow inventors, and, I spoke with my daughter one night and she was telling me about 2 inventions that had just blown her away, and both of those ended up winning. One, was an anti-anxiety medicine based on spider venom and tarantula, and I said, well, it must have been fun collecting the venom, but they didn't, they used an AI protein folder to make the venom. I mean, it's just so crazy, and that one won, and there was another one that was basically, I might not understand this one that well, but I think it was an exoskeleton for cerebral palsy to help the.
Help the person move.
That was just really cool, and so again, it broadened horizons in a lot of ways.
That is,
Yeah, so that's it for my report.
that's awesome.
So that brings us, unless there's any more, 13.2 board meeting calendar. We'll wait to find out about our special meeting. Our next regular scheduled meeting is June 22nd here at 5 o'clock for close, 6 o'clock for open. And then next would be August 10th, same time and place. 13.3 tentative future agenda items, LCAP and budget adoption. And then I'd love to see, whenever appropriate, an update on the Gallus property and what's going on with the housing situation there. And then 13.4 is reconvene the closed session if necessary, and it's not. So 13.5 is moved, and that brings us to 13.6, adjourned meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.